There is drama surrounding this printer. I use this thing every single day so that it can print overnight. I'm gonna read these questions directly from my computer. Oh, hey. Okay, so I'm already in the middle of doing maintenance on my WonderMaker ZR 3D printer. There is drama surrounding this printer. So this is what this video is, my honest experience using the WonderMaker ZR 3D printer. Okay, so before I get into all of that, let me tell you who I am and why you should even listen to me talk about this printer. I am not a tech person. I'm not an engineer. I didn't go to school for this. I'm literally just a girl who one day decided that she just wanted a 3D printer and got one for Christmas. In my day-to-day, I am a boutique owner and I run a Airbnb here in Nashville. I've been able to print a lot of things that were useful and not so useful. I got the WonderMaker ZR for Christmas in 2025. So about 6 months ago, I got the printer, and ever since then, I've pretty much used it every single day. Literally every single day. It's the only 3D printer I have. I use it all the time. Now, here's the thing. I had zero 3D printing experience before I got this printer for Christmas. This is my very first printer ever. I didn't take a class. I didn't have somebody teach me. I literally sat on TikTok and watched YouTube videos until I just figured it out. You may not be like me, and I hyper focus on things so that I can learn them. So I teach myself a lot of things, just like I taught myself how to use Shopify, how to code. I've taught myself all of these different things, and with a little bit of effort and a little bit of mindfulness, you can do it too. Was it a little overwhelming at first? Absolutely. Everything is overwhelming when you don't know what you're doing and when you're working with a machine that looks more intimidating than it actually is. Did I have a moment where I was like, what did I get myself into? Absolutely. But eventually I did figure it out most of the way. I'm not 100% versed on 3D printing, so some of the things that I do may not be the correct thing to do, so don't always take my advice. Just like we're about to clean our 3D printer today, don't take my advice on it. Like I said, this is my very first 3D printer, and I'm just doing what I've seen other people do clean their printers and what the recommendations in the little instruction booklet you get with the printer recommends to do. This will be my very first time cleaning the printer, so bear with me. Yes, it's been 6 months since I've gotten the printer, and yes, I have not cleaned it in the 6 months that I've had it, besides just cleaning off the print plate and stuff, but we'll get into that a little bit later. On my shelf here, let me move her out the way. Hold on. Okay, this is my shelf. This is where I keep a lot of my products that I've already made. So I have a lot of my cups up here, and I have a bunch of my 3D prints up here as well. I've made quite a few things recently. I've been making some of these little sticky note pads. I've also made little displays, just like this heart-shaped straw topper display that you'll see more about later on in the video. So first, I'm gonna empty out my poop chute because it's been a really long time since I've even touched this. This is my poop bin. This sits at the back of my 3D printer, and it collects all of the little poop that comes out of the poop chute out of the back of the 3D printer. And a lot of people sell these on Facebook Marketplace because people reuse this for different things. As you can see, I put my little mess up prints in here when I'm testing out filaments and stuff. So all of that I just tossed into this bucket, and I don't think I'm gonna sell this, but I'm just gonna throw it in a bag just cause I don't have a trash bag on hand right now. Maybe I will post it on Facebook and see if anybody wants to buy it. But this is how much poop I'm emptying out. This is quite a lot of filament. Can you tell what my most used color is? And this is what I've been making with it. These are boutique displays I printed for my boutique, Daisie Boutique. These are accessories that I actually sell in my shop. I've made smaller projects, mid-sized projects. I haven't done anything giant yet, but honestly, the things I make for my business every day have been complete game changers. Okay, so let's talk maintenance. This is something I don't see many people talk about when it comes to 3D printing. If you're using your printer regularly, and I mean regularly, regularly like I do, you're gonna want to make sure that you keep your build plate clean at all times. If you see, mine has some little glue marks on it. I was making some really teeny tiny prints the other day, so I need to just go and soak this with some Dawn dish soap to get that off, but I'm not really worried about that because I can just take some alcohol and spray the plate down a few times, and I take a microfiber towel and just wipe it down good. This helps to get rid of all of the grease so that your prints adhere better to the plate. I really haven't had many issues with adherence except for when I did really teeny tiny prints. But outside of that, I haven't had any issues with adhering to my plate. This plate is double-sided, so I can just flip it over if this side is giving me issues, and I can just swap it over to this side. They're the same exact thing on both sides, I think anyways. There's no indication that they're different. They look the exact same to me. But I know there is a plate that they offer that has two sides, a cold side and a hot side. I'm very doubtful that this is that plate because this is just the plate that came with my machine. And I just take my rag and just wipe off the heating plate as well, because sometimes you get little bits of filament that somehow get up underneath there and they just stick and melt to the plate, but it doesn't harm the plate at all. I can put this plate on here any type of wrong and it will magnetize to it regardless. You just line it up and let go, and it magnetizes to it, and it doesn't come off unless you use a lot of force. So I try to wipe my print bed off at least once a week, if not every 2 weeks, because I keep my hands off of the build plate. You'll see when I'm breaking my prints off, I'll use the edges. I never put my hand in the center of the plate. I do the, the infamous bend, and it comes off once you let it cool down. It comes off really, really easily. I do not like fully on bend the mess out of the plate, so just keep in mind to be careful when you are bending your plate. Just let it cool down, and then you can just easily get your project off anyways. I'm going to read these questions directly from my computer. Question 1, is it good for beginners? This is probably the most asked question that I see between Reddit and Facebook. Yes, but there is a learning curve to every new machine. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to unbox this, plug it in, and immediately start printing cute things. That's not realistic with any 3D printer. You have to test and tune and figure out what works best for you, the print, and what you're using the print for. When I first got the printer, I had genuine moments of confusion because, again, I've never 3D printed before. But it's a lot similar to the early Cricut models. If you're familiar with the Cricut machines, you remember you used to have a little thingy that you plug into it and then you'd be able to print the designs out. That's kind of the same model that a 3D printer goes by. Some 3D printers have an app. This one has an app as well. It's not all that good, at least on my phone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and I can't get the app to really work all that well on my phone. Maybe it's changed now, but it's been a few months since I've tried using the app, and I gave up on it a long time ago. From the app, you're supposed to be able to control it. You're supposed to be able to watch it print and things, but of course they don't sell the camera directly for this printer. I don't know if I can just buy one from another brand 3D printer and just plug it in. I personally haven't seen any camera options for this printer yet, but it says that's something that it's capable of. So correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm just completely missing it, I may be. Correct me down below in the comments if there is an actual camera available for this printer, or if you can just use any 3D printer camera. I don't know how that works. I taught myself completely from scratch with zero experience, and I'm printing things for my business every single day. So yes, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out too. And I'm 26 years old, and do with that information as you please. It just takes patience and a few failed prints. Just trust the process. Trust the process. Question number 2, what slicer software does it use? When I opened the box, in the instructions, it told me to use OrcaSlicer, so that's what I've been using, and it's been working fine for me. They have the presets in OrcaSlicer now, so you can just click the WonderMaker ZR preset and it'll preload the 3D printer into the slicer software. But if you're new to 3D printing, you might not be sure what slicer even means, and that's a whole nother topic. A slicer is just a software where you put your file in, you slice it up, you put it on the USB drive or the app, however you want to send it to your printer, and put the USB drive in your printer and press print. And yeah, you have to use the slicer in order to be able to print. If it's a .3mf file. If it's a .scl file, you also need the slicer as well. The only file that I've been able to print on this, which is probably the same thing for all other 3D printers, is .g-code files. I'm not going to go all into OrcaSlicer because OrcaSlicer needs its own video, because that's a lot to break down and I'm not even 100% on it myself. So I need to do more research before I sit here and tell you guys a lie and that OrcaSlicer is the best software out there to use. That's just what the printer recommended. The 3D printer finally finished printing the yellow version, so let me show you guys really quick. I have to turn the light back on because I was packing up to leave for the day. This is the final result. It took 4 hours and 16 minutes to print. And I'm going to start another print so that it can print overnight. But I'm going to print the lid and stuff so that I can come back tomorrow and that'll be good and ready for me to use. But this is the new yellow version that I just added to my boutique. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.